Life is happening for you, not to you. As I looked at the card that I just opened in the mail, I read that saying 3 or 4 more times. Life is happening for you, not to you. And I had a smile on my face. There's 2 reasons for that. Number 1, it was December of 2018, and I looked back on the past year of my life. And to say that I've been through a lot of changes and transformations is an understatement. And I finally really did feel like everything was meant to be. Now, the other reason I was excited is it was an invitation to go see one of my favorite motivational speakers out in Los Angeles, California, Tony Robbins. I felt like it was a calling because I knew that one of my hobbies was self-development, and maybe this would be a great opportunity to get back into that path. But the story doesn't really start there. Tonight, what I'm going to share with you is how I arrived at that moment of appreciation by finding the good, by making it a habit to find the good in everything, every person, every event, every situation, even the ones that might look like a setback. The story actually started a year earlier. I remember it just like it was yesterday. Now, I was still living here in the northwestern suburbs, and I remember I had been invited to a women's evening about leadership. There were 2 women that were very high up in Mary Kay. And they promised me, they said, we're not going to be doing facials. We're not even going to try to sell you our makeup tonight. This is something really different. I was curious as I drove my car on that cold Friday night in January. But I also remember thinking about the week. I thought about the job I wasn't really happy about. I thought about all the things I had in my life. I lived in a great house. I was a corporate and global sales director. I was making great money. I lived in a big house. I had trophies. I had a lot of Toastmasters awards on my wall. I had sales plaques. But something was missing. And I didn't know what it was. Let's just say it was missing. As I went into the evening, I remember walking into the room and I saw 20 other women sitting there. And I could tell they were all missing it too. And then the 2 women stood up to speak. I remember telling myself, they've got it. They were charismatic. They were joyful. They had this spark. They had something, and I don't know what it was, but I wanted it. Now, they went on to talk about this course about thought habits. And I don't know what it was. I didn't care, but I felt myself grab my wallet and pull out my credit card. And I was in. And I didn't even have those excuses of I don't have the time or I don't have the money. I remember leaving that night with a box full of books. One of the books I received was this book called The Greatest Salesman in the World by Og Mandino. I'd never even heard of it, and I've been in sales for quite some time. But at that point, I was excited and I was ready to turn a new page. Now, let's fast forward just a minute.